So with that kind of turmoil among the Republicans running for president, what's the impact on down-ballot races like senator and governor? Does not bode well for Republicans, according to Larry Sabato's crystal ball. He's revising 6 Senate ratings in a Democratic direction. Those are Colorado's Michael Bennet, Iowa's Chuck Grassley, Missouri's Roy Blunt, North Carolina's Richard Burr, Ohio's Rob Portman, and Pennsylvania's Pat Toomey. Among Republican governors, he thinks Indiana's Mike Pence and North Carolina's Pat McCrory are vulnerable to Democrats. So let's bring in the publisher of the Crystal Ball and director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia, Larry Sabato. Larry, thanks for being here.
Thank you, John.
You call this an intertwined election in the Crystal Ball, meaning what? That the Senate, pardon me, the fates of the Senate candidates are intertwined more than usual with the candidates for president?
Yes, that's true, John. In any election, when you have very strong feelings about the candidates, when voters become very polarized, then people vote for president and they tend to stay in the party column for Senate, for House, for governor, for that matter, all the way down to state legislature. So the stakes are really high, top to bottom, and I think people in both parties need to remember this as the rhetoric gets superheated. You know, I understand this isn't a battle, this isn't a game of tiddlywinks. You know, it's for all the marbles, the presidency. But when you escalate the rhetoric, and the Democrats are doing this too, you make it more difficult for the parties to reunite in the fall.
So you're not necessarily saying that of those 6 senators we just mentioned, that their seats are guaranteed to go Democratic. You just say that they are leaning, the voters in those states are leaning in a more Democratic direction.
Yes, in fact, we still have Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri ahead, Republican of Missouri. Senator Richard Burr of North Carolina, Republican, he's still ahead. And the others are in toss-up battles. The Democrat, Michael Bennet from Colorado, is doing better and has a good chance to win re-election. But, you know, it's early, it's April, things change, and a lot of this is going to be determined by the conduct of the parties and the delegates at their conventions. This is where the candidates really matter. Are they going to think about the party first and the other candidates on the party ballot, or is it going to be all about them?
You have already sketched out what you call a doomsday political scenario for the Republicans. What would that involve?
Well, it would involve a deeply split party that can't reunite around Donald Trump or a Ted Cruz or John Kasich or some other person who is promoted at the convention, as difficult as that scenario is going to be. You know, at a certain point, people have to think more broadly, and they have to think about November. And we haven't seen a lot of that yet. It is April, but it is something that people ought to at least put in the back of their minds, if not in the front of their minds, even at this early stage.